Few days ago, I got a message from a friend of mine who is in the baking business. She's a baker. She bakes cakes for birthdays, weddings, those sorts of things. Now, she sent a blackened message on WhatsApp asking for people to order cakes because Father's Day is just around the corner. And in our own opinion, having a cake made for your father is a nice way to wish him a happy Father's Day. Now, I'm always happy when I see people using devices like that. I mean, whether using WhatsApp or email or social media to try and drum up business. I'm a strong proponent of that. But however, I think a lot of people taking things too far and are not paying attention to some basic things that need to be observed if you're going to send mass messages out to people on your contact list. One of them is that you have to make sure that the people that you're sending the message to, sorry, that the message is relevant to the people that you're sending the message to. And that's where I think my friend got it wrong because she's a good friend of mine, and she knows that my father has been dead for quite a while now. So it might not be in good taste for others who are in my own situation, to be minding their own business, and then your phone pings from a friend of yours, and then that's the sort of message, buy cakes for Happy Father's Day, and to wish your father a Happy Father's Day, especially if your father is dead. So I think that's one mistake that a lot of people make. They don't make sure that the message is relevant to the people that they are sending it out to. And I thought it would be something I'll speak about because it's not just a problem that entrepreneurs make, but also people who are, who work in whether the ministries or in the corporate world, because you can have a meeting set up in your department, like a friend of mine who works in securities regulations. A meeting might be set up in the department, and then notices of meeting are sent out, and sometimes the notices are sent to people who do not have the expertise, the technical know-how to be able to contribute effectively to that meeting. So in effect, you've sent out a notice of meeting that was not relevant to some people, uh, has not been relevant to some people who are now at the meeting and who cannot give it their best because they lack the technical know-how to to be of use in that meeting. So when we do things like this, send out messages, whether for business purposes on WhatsApp or whether in the office, sending out notices and minutes to every conceivable person that we think of, we make ourselves we put a we put ourselves in a position where we end up being not effective in whatever it is that we're trying to achieve. So in the office, if the department is trying to advance a particular agenda, but you have somebody there who doesn't have the know-how to deliberate effectively, the person might end up being a hindrance at that meeting in the um, because in the spirit of trying to be involved, it might keep taking you guys back and wasting a lot of time. And the same thing with business. If you send out these sorts of messages to people and it's not relevant to those people, you stand the risk of being blocked. And once you get blocked or blacklisted, it has other sorts of implications. Like for instance, if enough of us who got that message from my friend now proceeded to block her, Truecaller picks up on those sorts of things, and the next time she tries to call somebody else for a business call, it's one of the things that will flash there at the bottom of the screen. Truecaller says 670 people have marked this as spam, and they might not be so enthusiastic to take that call. And the same thing with email. When you send out blanket emails that are not relevant to the people who are receiving it, and then you get put on a spam list, especially if you get on Google's blocker, it's not a very good thing. Well, anyway, let me not drone on and on. Basically, if you're going to send out any communications, whether for business purposes or whether in the office, just make sure that the person that you intend to receive it, just make sure that it is relevant to the intended recipient.